Hello, everybody. We are to lesson 3 of the decimal unit. We're really going to dive into decimals in the real world. So, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to say, I will be able to use my decimal knowledge to understand profits and loss and money, and I will be able to determine the amount of taxes. So this is direct connection to our mini society unit. You will have to fill out one of these account ledgers. So please make sure you're paying attention to this video. Let me explain the parts of the account ledger. Account ledger could also be called a budget sheet. It's basically a document that shows the money that you come into your business and the money that leaves your business. So we have the date that you earn the money or lose the money. What item do you sell or what item do you buy? What is the cost of that item? Then you have to determine whether it's a withdrawal or a deposit. A withdrawal means you're taking money out of your account, and deposit means you're putting money in. And then finally, here you have your balance or your change. We are only going to write on the white lines and the yellow lines. The yellow lines will always represent the new balance. After some money come in or you lose some money, you will always then figure out what your new balance is. This very first balance line that has really nothing with it, talking about what the item is, this is what money you started with. So today, your business has a total of $500.50, let's say. All right, so now you have to pay rent. So rent is a withdrawal because that money is coming out of your account to pay for something. So you would fill out your account ledger like this. You'd put the date. What are you doing or what item is it all about? It's table rent. What is it going to cost? Well, table rent, for this example, is going to cost $150.50. That is going to be a withdraw. A withdraw. So it's a withdraw because you're taking the money out. So I'm going to actually show it as a negative number because it's subtracting it out. And in business, they use negative numbers for that all the time. So here we are actually setting up a subtraction decimal problem. $500.50 minus $150.50. So what do we end up with? $350. That is our new balance. Notice you're going to record stuff on the white row and record your new balance on the yellow or in the yellow cell. That is when we did a withdrawal because we took money out. Now let's do another example. This example, we already did the withdrawal, so 350 is our ending balance then. Now let's say you sell something. The date, what did you sell? Let's say we sold a bracelet. Let's see, the bracelet we sold was $200. Expensive bracelet. So our new balance would actually be a deposit because we're putting the money into our account. It is a positive number. So here we go. Now we are adding the decimals. $350 plus $200 equals our new balance of $350. So do we have 300 or I'm sorry, $550? Do we have $550? Yes. But we really, if we look at our starting balance, we really only made what, $49.50 because we're only, that much higher than that number. That is how we're going to do the account ledger. Well, at the end of an open market, you're going to take your new balance and you're going to have to pay taxes on it. So, how do we find taxes? Well, we're going to find a certain percent, and that's going to be different with each different society. And we want to know, let's say your ending balance was $350. We would want to know what is 15% of our ending balance. Now, note that what are taxes going for? Taxes go to help your economy, to help your society, to pay for your government, to pay for the things that help your people. So, how are we going to figure this out? Well, It's that word of. Remember those words in our language also sometimes mean math words. So the word of means to multiply. Please, please remember that. Of, multiply, of, multiply, of, multiply. So this is really a multiplication problem. 15% times $310. Oh, but we can't really multiply a percent without making it a regular number. In fact, we're going to turn it into a decimal. So when we look at this here, 15% is the same as 0.15 or 15 hundredths, right? 15 hundredths. How did we get that? Every time you change a percent to a decimal, you must always move it 2 spots to the left. Always move the decimal 2 spots to the left. Well, technically the decimal's on the end of the 15 because it's a whole number. And we're going to go 1, 2, and this weird thing is supposed to be a decimal point right there. And that's where we're going to move the decimal point. So always 2. 1, 2, and a decimal point. So here we have now 0.15 or 15 hundredths times 310. Now, just a note, if this was only 5%, we'd still have to move it over 2 spots. Instead of a 1, we would put a 0 there. So remember that. All right, so I love the lattice method. So now we have the setup. 310 times 0.15. I underlined the 1 and the 5 to help me remember I have 2 decimal places. All right, let's work this out. 0 times 1 is 1. Actually, if you want to pause this right now and go get a piece of scrap paper, you should try working this out. See if you get the same answer as I do. All right, I wonder if you paused it and have an answer. Let's see if it matches mine. 0 times 5. Remember, I got to put this is the 0 column. So I'm going to go 0 times 5 is, ooh, did you see my mistake? 0 times 1 is not 1. It is 0. Haha. I was showing you the mistake that is most commonly done by middle school students. So just note that. All right, 1 times 1. Now, everything in this row is all going to be times by 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So now this row is all going to be the times 5. 1 times 5 is 5. And 3 times 5 is 15. Now let's add those driveways together. I'm going to change my color here. Let's make it green. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. Plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 1 is 1. Plus 0 is still 1. Plus 5 is 6. And 0 plus 3 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. And 0 plus nothing is 0. So now I'm going to write this on the top because I'm running out of space in the bottom. If I write 0, 4, 6, 5, and 0. So where does that decimal point go? Well, I have 1, 2 decimal places in the number, 1, 2 decimal places in the answer. So my decimal point goes right here. So how much do you owe in taxes? Well, this 0 really doesn't mean anything. It just means 0 hundredths. So this is how much you owe. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. $46.50. That is your tax. All right, it's time for you to try. I have a sheet, a ledger sheet, with some withdrawals and deposits on it and finding a tax at the end. So please, please, please make sure you show all your work. And if you have any questions, ask Mrs. Jenkins or watch this video again. Have fun.